Okay, guys, video here on semiconductors, SOXL, one of the directions shares that we do trade here in the room. It has been pretty decent moves off the lows from last year. You guys remember we did trade very nicely from the sevens, and now it's here at the 18s. And let me show you before I go. All right, let me show you what happens here. After we drop below these 20s, you guys recall going back all the way to 2020, 2021, and 2022, you know, the hiking of these interest rates by the Fed uh, actually took a shot at all those growth stocks. Everything related to growth took a beating, from the Nvidias, from all the semiconductors to a bunch of other stocks. So now they are coming back with the mindset of time horizon, right? 6 to 12 months potentially. uh, if we do not get into such a deep recession, we might see this growth starting to come back slowly again. I'm not saying go all crazy, right, and go into growth completely, but there is a good rotation of when it comes to the markets, and value and growth has always been this big fight. So here is the SOXL. We did wait it for a very, very long time back in October. I recall those of you who were in the room, and some of the people in the room took advantage of it. We remember on this. Remember one thing before I go into any more detail. Remember that the SOXL is not. It is not an ETF for the long term horizon. It is not. It is more like for a swing type of trade. It is actually meant to be day traded. Okay, so if people cannot day trade this and they want to hold it for a couple of days or a week or whatever, you just have to be very careful when it comes to the timing, the entry that you're doing. What I will do most of the time is day trade it and hold a couple of shares, like what we did a couple of weeks ago. Hold a couple of shares for a good move. We were able to capture close to 10,000 bucks on this trade. It was about 1,500 shares. Originally, it was about 7,000 shares, but we did, got out on the 15 mark, 15 and 17, but we left some runners. Okay, we did leave some runners, and those runners actually played out pretty well. As you can see, we did had about what was it, 1,500, around 1,500 shares, and we were pretty good when it comes to holding them from the $11.66, which was our average. We got rid of it for a profit of about $9,000. It was pretty nice move from SOXL. And remember, we have sold those 18. As a matter of fact, they are not closed yet. So all the premium that we collected about, I don't know, 1,300 bucks additional premium. We sold the 18 calls that expires next week. All right, and as you can see, the market closed under 17 Friday. Okay, under 17. So chances are either the market pull back to those 15s, okay, and then again find some support there and rotate back to the 18s. But that helps tremendously on our calls that we have, because theta will just take care of that. And the reason we sold the 18s, it was because of the pivot that we had on, right? Was the because of the pivot, that 18. So we did sold some some calls, cover calls on them, about 1,500, and that's actually giving us a good outcome on this trade. Okay, now we hit those 18s. Okay, we hit the 18s, and we almost got to the 19 area as well, almost 1826. So what's next for our SOXL mark? Okay, what can we look for right here? And we are going to look at the position that we established on Friday at the close. Friday at the close, I did get 1685, I believe, or 1679. We are long already again, the stock, for probably one day or two. And here's the idea behind the trade. You can see the consolidation happening here above the 15 area. Let me show you right here on this mark, right on this 15. Okay, this is where you want to be located. If you do not own the stock, or you would like to play it with a PCS or naked puts, actually I'm selling those 15s. If I see them this week, I would be selling. I want to add, I only have 1500 shares. Actually I have 3000 because I opened another 1500 on my other account. So I do have 3000 shares on it, and I would like to put another 3000 on it right here on the 15. Okay, right on the 15, and see if we can go back to the 19s and 18s. We have Nvidia earnings coming up at the end of the month, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So how do you play this one? Let's go to the daily mark here. And this was interesting because from that 1165 right here, this is when we enter our trade, right on that Thursday. Okay, and we just rode that trade really nicely, held here on these. This is where we exited. The first 5,000 shares were closed right here on these 15s because we just couldn't go above it. And I told you guys, hey, let's ring the register, and if we see a pullback, enter again. So I did enter a couple of more, I believe on my other accounts, about 13.50, 14 bucks, but these were day traded. Okay, you guys remember, everything's in the chat. They were day traded for about 80 cents, and then we did another 50 cents going into FOMC. Then after FOMC, we exited the trade, and we only left, going into FOMC, we left 15 shares. And those 1500 shares are the one that printed those 9,000 bucks all the way to the 18 bucks. Then we closed the shares, sold the calls, collected premium, right? We collected 1,200 bucks on those calls that we sold. These are the 18 calls expiring next week, all right? We sold those calls, and then we sold the stock. So now we have literally naked calls, right? We are back to naked calls. But that's the reason why I got back on it, and now I do own another 1,500 shares, and my cost on that is 16.85, I believe. On Friday at the close, after the close actually, I got those 1,500. So we are not completely naked. We need another 3,500, and we'll see if we can make some money this week. Those of you who do not own SOXL, or haven't played with the semis yet, and do you believe that this semis potentially are going to go back to the 15, but you don't want to short SOXL, right? You don't want to go short. Well, you can play it with SOXS, okay, which is the inverse of it. And I did get some on the 19 bucks on Friday. And Thursday I was able to put another 1,000 shares and 1,000 shares on the SOXS, and they did good. I mean, we're making about 1K on it, not so much, right? We're making about 1K on it, and we'll see if it's going to go back to the 22. Last week, remember, we did the trade from the 22s to the 26s. Some of you guys took this trade from the 22, 23s, and we rode it to the 26s. We'll see if this is going to have some momentum to go back to the 21, 22s. This will mean that the SOXL will pull back to the 1650s and below, potentially the 16 even number. So SOXL, if you do not own it, the best way to play it for me is by selling naked puts. When I do not own it, for next week, actually, yeah, for next week, this is expiring in 5 days, for the 10th, or this coming Friday. This video is being recorded on the 5th, Sunday night. If we are to pull back in the markets from the nice run up, we would love to see 16s or 1550s, and you can collect maybe 50 cents on the 15 and under once this market starts to rotate lower, okay? And then your cost, you're actually cutting 50 cents from the cost, and your cost will be only $14.50 if you get to sell them for about 50 cents. I'm gonna put an alert on my chart because I don't have an alert, I think, right now. Do I have a big alert? I got one here. But I don't have the 16th. Probably I forgot to do it. But right here, if it goes below the 15, just throw an alert there. See if we can get it this week, and we can put some money to work on SOXL. All right, so that's what I got for you guys in this video. Remember, if you are not part of the group, there is information here at the end of the video. You can always join us on our Discord and come check us out. I hope this video is helping you guys on your trading. I'll be seeing you guys later in the room. Take care. God bless you.